Hello everyone, welcome back to Enhanced Automation. In the last episode, Rahul learned how AI can help him to review the requirement even before the testing starts. So instead of immediately writing test cases, Rahul first used the AI to identify the gaps in requirement and clarification questions for the product owners. So after discussing those questions with the product owner, he got the updates in the requirement. And now Rahul finally has a clear and complete understanding on the requirement. And today comes the next step in every QA journey, which is designing the test cases. But instead of writing everything manually, Rahul want to see how AI can help him to become faster without sacrificing the quality of test case. So let's continue the story. Rahul receives the finalized login requirement and the product owner has clarified everything. So the final requirement now says login with valid email and password. After three consecutive incorrect attempts, your account will be locked for 30 minutes and successful login will be resetting the failed attempt count. Locked account cannot log in even with the correct password, and customer receives an email notification when your account is getting locked. Password reset will not immediately unlock your account, and after 30 minutes, customer can log in again using the valid credentials. So this time, after going through this requirement, Rahul thinks that okay, this time there is no ambiguity and requirement looks good to me now. So what he thought, okay, let's generate the test case for this requirement. What happens now? Rahul goes to the AI, open the chat GPT, putting this requirement into a prompt, and along with that saying generate test cases. So here for your reference, I have opened the chat GPT, paste the same requirement here and saying generate the test cases. So I got a response from AI which says that based on the requirement you provided, here are the basic functional test cases. I have received the test cases with the test data required and expected result. And we have total 12 test cases generated from AI. So here we got the test cases from AI and now these test case looks good to me. But when I was going through all those test cases, I noticed one thing, and even Rahul noticed one thing, which is every test case is functional test case. There are no boundary value analysis test cases. There are no security test cases, no recovery test cases. So he realized one thing, that he never told AI what kind of testing he wanted to do. He simply asked to generate the test cases and AI answered the exactly same, nothing more than that. So here comes the next important thing we should remember all the time, that we have to think like a QA engineer. Your better questions will be becoming your better strategy, and on the basis of that strategy, you will be getting a better test cases. So once Rahul mentor told him that don't ask how many test cases you wrote, ask yourself what risk you covered in the application. So instead of asking generate test cases, we should always ask what risk exists in this feature. Are we covering those risks? So this time, what Rahul did, instead of asking AI to generate the test cases, what Rahul asking to the AI, what are the risks exist in this feature? So the same question I asked to GPT here, and here are the response from the chat GPT, some potential risk for the login feature. AI identify the key risk which talks about the authentication failure, and we have different risk here. So Rahul suddenly has a testing strategy before writing even a single test case, right? Now, every QA engineer, after checking the risk which exist in the feature, they have something for which they need to create a test case, or they need to make sure that those functionality or those risks are covered in the test case. So everyone will be having a test strategy now before even writing a test case. So it is suggested here, instead of directly writing or getting the test cases, firstly check what are the risks exist, and then based on the risk, we should ask for the high level scenarios. Let's go to the AI and generate high level test scenarios. So let me go to ChatGPT again. Yeah, so here I ask generate high level test scenarios, and here are the high level test scenarios based on the given requirement. So AI suggested all these scenarios based on our requirement. Now these scenarios are generated from AI side, from Rahul's, and he added few more scenarios from his side, and whatever the duplicate scenarios were there, he removes those duplicate, and finally Rahul was the approver of the scenarios, and once he feels that yes, all the test case looks good to my requirement, then we will be moving further and Rahul will be moving further for the test case generation for these scenarios. So I came back to ChatGPT here and asking the same query, generate the detailed test cases for each scenario. So here I got all the detailed scenario, verify login with the valid credential, what are the test case, test data, expected result, the scenario which is talking about the invalid credentials. So I have two test cases here. One is with valid email, invalid password, one is unregistered email. And similarly, verifying the account lock after three consecutive incorrect password. We have different test cases. So based on that, we received a set of test cases which is generated based on the high level scenarios for our requirement, right? So that's how we are getting a test cases now. Yes. So so Rahul got the test cases from the requirement, but Rahul want to make sure whether I have covered all those requirement or not, because generating the test case is not only the intention here. We want to verify whether the requirement is covered or not. So now we will be using AI as a coverage checker as part of the test case generation only. So what happens? We will be uploading the requirement and whatever the test cases we have received, and based on that we will say to AI that review my test suits and identify the missing scenarios, duplicate scenarios, coverage gap, requirement mismatch, or low value analysis. And based on the review, we will be getting a more clarity like whatever the test case is generated from the AI, whether anything is missing on that, or is there any duplicate scenario or some missing in notification scenarios are there, or any requirement which is not covered. So after reviewing this response from the AI, it is Rahul who will be the decision maker, or Rahul will be the approver for his suit. So AI is not replacing the Rahul here, but AI is helping the Rahul and making his work more effective and more quality work. So this is how AI is working as a coverage checker here. Now, what next? Rahul noticed the another problem. Sometimes AI creates the unrealistic test cases. For example, in this scenario, if AI generates a test case which talks about the verify login using retinal scan, but the application does not even support the biometric authentication. Why did AI generate it? Because Rahul never told AI what authentication method exists. This teach Rahul another lesson. Better context will provide you a better relevancy. So never assume every generated test case belongs in your project. So this is a key point for us, that we should always provide a better context so that our AI will not hallucinate and AI will not assume anything. So here is one more thing for us, right? Quality over the quantity. Now, same requirement for a different application. One of our Rahul's colleague was working on it, and he generated around 250 test cases. And Rahul says, I have covered every important business risk. So, which engineer will be more valued? Probably the second one, right? Because at the end, our goal is to not execute the more number of test cases, but our goal is to execute and check each business risk is tested and it is working as expected. So testing is not about the producing high number of test cases. It is about the reducing the product risk. So AI also can generate a number of test cases in second, but if you are giving a prompt or if you are giving a context in a proper way, then you will be getting a very minimal number of test cases. And along with that, if you are using your human intelligence over there, then you can decide which one are actually matters. So that's why AI is an assistant, not a replacement, right? So here is a one thing for all the viewers who are using AI to generate the test cases on a daily basis. So this is a reusable prompt you can use in your day-to-day life and to get the test case in a very particular manner. So what is the prompt here? The prompt is act as a senior QA engineer, analyze the following requirement, generate high level test scenarios first, wait for the approval, then generate detailed test cases covering positive, negative, boundary, edge cases, security, recovery, accessibility, and whatever else you want. Map every test case back to the corresponding requirement, highlight any uncovered requirement, and return everything in a tabular format. So you guys can save this prompt and you will use it frequently throughout this series whenever you will be generating the test cases. And even you can use this prompt in your day-to-day basis to generate the test cases for your user stories. And you will be feeling that your test case coverage is getting better day by day and nothing will be uncovered in your requirement. So today we learned that AI can help us to generate the test scenario. AI can help us to create the detailed test cases, suggest the boundary condition, discover edge cases, build a traceability matrix, review the existing test cases which we created or test suite which we created, and highlight the missing coverage, and also support the risk-based testing. But we also learned something even more important, and that was never measure testing by the number of test cases, measure it by the quality of risk coverage, right? So now Rahul has a complete requirement. He reviewed the requirement completely and he is having a complete set of test scenario along with the detailed test cases, test data, risk coverage, everything is ready. Now comes the next challenge. Rahul manager walks over and says, these test case looks great. Can AI also help us to automate them? Rahul smiles and says, let me find out. In the next episode, we will see how AI can help QA engineers to identify the automation candidates, generate the automation skeleton, review the code, and improve the maintainability while still following the good automation engineering practices. So, I'll see you into the next episode. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video really helpful, that prompt which we wrote today is really helpful for your day-to-day QA journey, then don't forget to subscribe in Hand Automation and like this video and share with your QA friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you into the next episode. Till the time, keep learning, keep automating.